Okay, that's all y'all getting for free today. That's all y'all get for free. All y'all get. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this young man is ready and he is waiting on me. So we is about to get rocking and rolling. So y'all put y'all hands together as we welcome my good friend, Mr. David Talley, to the stage. Give him a great big hand. Great big hand.
All right, nephew, can you hear me? Can you hear
me?
Oh,
yeah. You loud and clear.
All right. And hey, it's a privilege to be on your platform, man. I just want to tell you thank you for thinking about me and wanting me to be on your platform. So God bless you, and encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, my brother.
Man, I appreciate it. And I'm glad you accepted the invite because I know you got a lot. Because we talk behind the scenes, and I know you got a lot of history to share.
Yeah, I kind of share a little on what I know. So we'll give you a little history, man.
Okay. All right, so let's get started. So tell us about yourself as a give us a little brief biography of you from like a little boy on up to, your adolescent years.
Well, I mean, I started playing drum at the age of 3, going on 4 years old. So been playing, well, you might as well say for about 57 years. So I'm 60, and that's a blessing. So I started out, like I say, it was funny. My dad, now my family group, man, they was going to do a 45 at a studio, and I just asked, wanted to ride and get out with my brothers and all. And my cousin was supposed to have been playing drums, and I never picked up a pair of sticks. So when they got to the studio, the guy asked my dad, "Where your drummer at? You don't have a drummer?" My dad said, "Yes, got one." My brother and them said, "Who?" So he grabbed me and they said, "Dad, I know you're not finna do that." He said, "Yeah, watch me." So, hey, they put me in this room, the headphones like I got on now, and man, the rest is history. I started playing that way, and it was a blessing, man. And then they started carrying me out doing the programs and everything, and been doing it ever since, man. It was just so exciting, And but that's how I got started. Never picked up a pair, and they took me with them. And first time I picked up a pair of sticks, and was on time and everything. And they said, "This little kid is good. Who is?" So it was a blessing, man. So you sometimes you have gifts that come out later on that God have given you.
You're right.
And so I did that. Then I ended up loving basketball for a little while. Went on to play in high school and college. Played against some real good guys, Spud Webb, Carl Malone, against all them guys. So,
oh wow,
and, it was a lot. I had a couple of offers that were some tryouts, and for basketball, for pros. I didn't go, and so I kind of lost the love of it. I don't know why, but I ended up losing the love of it. But I kept playing, just to keep in shape and playing everything, even when I was on the road. So, and that's where I had end up going on up, started playing drums and my history that way.
You still trying to shoot a little basketball now?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I stopped at I stopped at the age of 30 something. I'm not LeBron and all that, man. You know, so I have millions to keep my body in shape, you know. So but well, you know, we played some Larry had we got there when I was with the original Keynotes. It was funny. We was out on the bus and the high school team was practicing and Larry went in there and asked them, do y'all want to scrimmage? So it's funny. Me, Jeff, Larry, Perry, we all in there, man, and we beat those kids so bad, and they had good players, you know. And man, we played so good. The coach even let us come shower at his house. Said, y'all beat my kids this bad. Y'all gotta come shower at the house. So, man, it was. I said, Larry, don't do that no more. We all had Ben Gay on after the show, you know, rubbing down. But yeah, man, it would turn out being excited, you know. But I hadn't played. I coached it, and my son played. He's graduating this year, and
Okay.
he's about 6'7". He's 17 years old, and he's graduating. So he played all the way from 8th grade. So I guess he's following in his daddy's footsteps a little. So he played drum as well. He was playing ever since he was 3. So at my
Okay.
church, yeah. So
Yeah, so it's just in it.
and yes, and the family. My oldest play, and my next oldest do that, and he's doing music and everything. So it's kind of running in the family. He got a few R&B songs out, you know, and everything. So he's doing well, you know, and I'm proud of all of them. You know, very proud of them.
Okay. So when did you first know you had a talent for music? Like when did you know for yourself?
I would say about when I say around about, I really didn't realize until I was around about 12 or 13 that I
Mm.
got off into it a little more seriously, you know, and it was just end up loving it. You know, I started listening to all kind of gospel artists, man, at a young age. You know, would go see a lot of gospel artists at a young age. You know, my brother and them was doing it, you know, way before I was, and I was hanging around them. My dad and all of them would love to, when they rehearsed, I would love to be there when I was young. So I really started falling in love with it, you know, a lot. And I think that kind of started taking a little place of basketball a little bit because it started, you know, into gospel heavy. I mean, very heavy at a young age, man. So I say around about 12 or 13, somewhere in there. And it started hitting very heavy, you know, for music.
Okay. What all kind of music did you listen to growing up?
Well, you know, to be honest, we all have, you know, a little raw R&B, little blues, little, you know, it was more gospel than anything. But, you know, I was a big fan of the Temptations, OJs, um, Gap Band, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. So I've listened to it all and fell in love with that and started listening to, you know, the drummers and everything. Because when the Temptation came here, man, it was so exciting to meet them. I was on stage with them. I mean, on stage, and they had a drum on there, man. And I was like, this cat here, man, he looked like he's about 70 something years old. But man, when he said on them drums, Doc, whoo,
You were
the
kicking it, huh?
strange thing, he knew me. That what was so funny. He knew me. And I
Yeah.
never saw this cat. Yeah. And man, and one of my brothers that live here, I call him my brother, Anthony Gray. He took me, you know, to see him because Anthony, you know, was with Mavis Staples and he played for a lot of them. And he took me there. They had an office at the black newspaper company here, Speaking Out News, and he would bring the R&B thing. So he had the Temptations, and man, I drove backstage outside, and I was on stage with him, man. And that was one of the most exciting things, you know, to be on the stage with those actual musicians, man, was really exciting, you know, to be up there to up close to watch the drummers and everything. So um, I really went to see I can't think his name. He used to play for Mississippi Mass Choir. I think the last name was Brian Scott. I think that was his name. He was a bass player for Mississippi Mass, but he ended up playing drums for the Temptation. So I didn't know
Wow.
he had left. Yeah, I went to see him. So I knew him when we was working at Malaco. So I went to see him, and he had left, and they had this other drummer. And man, this cat was nice. So, and I mean, he had gray hair, looked like he was about 70, man, but he could stick. That whole band was tight, man. I mean, this dude could play. So I end up taking pictures. I got a big photo album with pictures with every last one of them. Dennis Edwards, all of them, man. So that's one of my happiest moments, for being in music, to see those guys.
Man.
Yeah.
A lot of history, man. We can wrap the interview up now. You don't get.
Yeah. That cat name was Sam Scott. That's who it was. He was with Mississippi Mass. Yeah. But like I said, I met the OJs. We've been in. When I was with Willie, we was at a big outdoors festival in Dallas, man. And that's when Kirk Franklin was first coming out. And that's when Willie said, "See that cat right there, that kid, they're going to be one of the biggest things in gospel." And that's when he first put out the song "Reason Why I Sing." But it was only gospel that I knew was Dorothy Norwood, Kirk Franklin, gospel keynotes. Can't remember who else, but the rest of them was Men at Large, After 7,
Wow.
Lynn Jones, Christopher Williams. Man, it didn't go on and on, but we was the only the quartet group on there. But man, it was about 200, 300,000 people at that thing, man. So that was nice.
So y'all done been on shows. Okay. We ain't gonna go that fast.
Yeah.
So you who was the first group you ever had a chance to play for? Like, not just on a major level, but who just was the first group you ever had a chance to play with?
Like just sitting in with,
or just the first group you can actually remember playing with. It don't even have to be anybody special.
Oh well, it was my dad and them group, the Mighty Voices.
Okay.
Like I said, that was the first one. And I ended up sitting in with what was the name of this other group? Man, it had been so many years. I played for Willie's brother group. I forgot the name of their group. His brother had an awesome group, man. Chester. I played for them when we was on a program with him. But his brother had an awesome group. Chester Johnson, Raymond, and all them, man. Them guys was hard hitters. And but that's mainly it when I first started. And but never set in with no majors until I ended up out on the road.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What other instruments do you play besides drums?
That is it. Drums. That is it. I started out trying to learn a little bass guitar, but I said I better stick with what I'm barely is playing drums. You know what I mean? I said,
right.
Want to learn some other stuff, but man, well, I really, like I said, that was just a gift from God, man, because I never picked up any pair of sticks, anything, and just to go in there and play, that's a gift.
Right.
Some people have to sit down and practice and everything. I never even thought about playing drums or anything until, like I said, I went to the studio with my dad and them, and that's when I got into it.
Wow. So I know you got I like to try and do my interviews like I don't really know too much or anything about the person, but you got siblings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I got 4 more brothers and 3 sisters.
Okay. And do they do music as well, your brothers?
Oh yeah. Yes, my brothers. And the baby boy, man, he played a little drum, but he was basketball too. He played 1 year with Denver. He was on the practice squad and everything. So he basketball. He said he idolized me, but I told him, hey, do something I didn't do. Go further, So he would come out sometime when he was out over the summer. He's one of the leading scorers at Montana State. So awesome guy, man. And all my sisters and brothers, man, we still living. We thank God for that. Very close. We all are very close. So yes, total of 8 of us.
Okay. And they all do music, right?
Yes, the Talley Boys. So, yep, they do music. Man. Like I said, they was in it before me. My 2 older brothers and my younger brother, he's playing drums now. And so, like I said, the other one, he played drums, and now he played his church a little bit too. So they think they're good when they go by themselves for set, not the church band. They go by themselves. So they tough down when they go by their own set and put them in the church. So, so I pick at him a lot. So. Yeah.
So where you fall in line at? Are you the next to the youngest? You the baby, or how is that?
I'm the third. Let me see. I'm like the 6th one. I got 5 older than me and 2 up under me.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Like you said, everybody's still living, so that really is a blessing for sure.
Yeah, that's a blessing, man. Love it. Yeah, definitely love it.
And where y'all from?
Longview, Texas. That's East Texas. We're between Shreveport, Louisiana, and Dallas, Texas. So I'm
Okay,
60 miles from Shreveport, Louisiana, and 28 miles from Dallas.
gotcha.
And yeah.
So now let's go and get on into it.
All right.
How did you get with the gospel keynotes?
Man, it's funny. You know, my dad is original, Reverend J.D. Talley. He was the lead singer um, for the gospel keynotes. Uh, he it's funny, like I say, I was a little kid. We used to go hear him sing before we come back and start the family group again. But we would go hear him sing, and that's how I end up, getting with the keynote by knowing him that well. But it was funny. I used to always joke with Willie about, "Hey, you got my contract?" When
Yeah.
I was young. He said, "Yeah, son, I got your contract." So they would come here again. I would keep asking and joking with him on that, not realizing, that sooner or later that I will have a contract with the Keno. So I had hernia surgery, man. Noah Jones. I know you know Bishop Noah Jones.
Yes, sir.
He pastored in Longview, Texas for years, man. We used to play basketball with him. I mean, we're very close, good friends with him. And they come to sing at his church. It was coming through on a Saturday night, Friday night or Saturday. I can't remember what it was. And my mom said, "Why don't you get out of the house?" And, after got out of the hospital. And I said, "Yeah, I go see him." And it was funny. He said, "Hey, son," he said, "how you doing?" He said, "You want to play drums for me tonight?" I said, "I can play for you." I said, "But I can't lift anything." He said, "We'll get the drums out." So when they was there that night, it was, I think Gino and Jeff was out sick. But it was Willie, Larry, Val, Robert, and Brand New. So I guess Brand New had been playing because, they hadn't seen Ricky or whatever. So I told him I play. So I set up that night with him and played. So Val, "Hey man, I said, Val, just hit it. Whatever, let me know what song it is. I got y'all." And he was shocked, Val was very shocked. So every song he hit, because I'm a Keno. You might well say my dad, and when they hit the songs, he would look at me and just shake his head. And I'm like, "Am I messing up?" He said, "No." It was shocking him that I knew all the intros and all the songs. And he loved my timing and everything. So when it got to Jesus Been Good to Me, Larry, speed it up, speed it up. Willie said, "Hold him right there, son." Willie said, "Hold him right there, son." Val said, "Don't move. I love it. Don't move." So it was funny. I knew everything. So they was at Bishop Noah Jones. So he said, "Hey man, son, we're in Dallas tomorrow. You want to go with me?" I said, "Sure." And what was funny, the job I was at had went out of business. I didn't have a job at the time because they had closed down. And I went to Dallas with him. He loved it. So that's when his brother and all of them, they back when I was little playing drums, everybody called me Baby Talley. I don't know why. Baby Talley. So Raymond, Willie brother, said, you got Baby Talley with you? You gonna have Baby Talley? Willie said, "Yeah, I might." He said, "I might." He said, "I ain't seen my drummer." So it was funny. So Matt was the bus driver, McKinley Brandon, I think that was his last name. He was driving the bus. So him and Val, they had to go be somewhere that Monday or Sunday, one of them. He said, "We ought to pass his house and tell Willie we forgot he was on the bus." So Val said, "No, don't do that, man. We don't want to get Willie mad, man." It was funny. So they went, "They don't drop me off." Max said, "Man, sure want to go and keep him." So Willie said, "Son, stay by the phone." He said, "I'm going to give you a call." So that Monday, he called me and said, "Bring everything you got." He said, "You're my new drummer." And I was like, wow. So he hired me right after I did the weekend with him, and I met him in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. And it was funny. We did 30 days straight when I first got with him. It was supposed to have been 31. That was in November. We even sung on Thanksgiving night.
Wow.
So we did 30 days straight. So one show got canceled, man. And I was like, my God, I said, "Ain't used to this yet, So and that's how I ended up with him. So Willie come to me and said, "Son, you got your contract now, ain't you?" So it was exciting, man. Not ever thinking I would be with the keynotes, So that was an exciting thing to, watching them and end up being on stage with them, So that
What year was that?
was fun. It's close to the end of '85, around about November in '85.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
and so man, did y'all do any rehearsals?
I'm gonna tell you, when I got with them, we didn't do a whole lot of rehearsal, not at all. Me and Val would get to the show, we'll set up and go and run over music, but which I knew just about everything that Keno's ever done from the '60s on up. I mean, the old songs, we knew them because in our family group, we were singing our own songs and a lot of Keno songs.
Right.
So, but we didn't do a lot of rehearsal, man. It was funny, and people thought we rehearsed like once a week and thing. Man, we might rehearse getting ready to do a live recording, but I never rehearsed when we went in the studio or anything. We just go in the studio and drop the tracks, man. It was strange, but we didn't have a schedule of, well, we're gonna rehearse this week or we're gonna rehearse. No, it wasn't like that, you know. and that people might seem strange to people. No, I never did. I don't remember rehearsing a whole lot, but we did rehearse. But I can't. I mean, it's funny. Like sometimes we all in there joking around while me and Val playing, and they'll get up and just run over one or two songs or whatever. But it's not a call rehearsal or anything. You know, sometimes everybody get in there and mess around, but it never was. You know, like okay, we're rehearsing Monday or next week or anything like that. We really didn't have time to me because we was doing more weekdays a lot than any group out there. We did a lot of weekdays, a lot. Yeah. Some churches would change their Bible class because the keynotes are coming in town Wednesday night.
Wow.
Yes, yes, they would. And I mean, the weekdays would be so packed. It's unbelievable, man. When I got with them, I said, man, this is unreal. Wednesday night is packed, you know, Thursday night. And a lot, somebody asked Willie, say, I don't see how you do it. You out here weekday, but they was making the money, man. They was making the
Right.
money. Mm-hmm.
So what difference do you see between that time and like nowadays?
Well, now, you know, COVID messed up a lot of stuff, but before COVID came, it had changed. I don't know why. Some people say they know why, but I don't know why. A lot of people are not doing weekdays, a lot of weekdays. A lot of promoters that did a lot of weekdays had passed.
Mm.
Um, and, you know, I guess you just don't have a lot of promoters think weekdays are good, but if the right place and the right time and the right package would do very well on a weekday.
I believe so too.
Yes, it would. If you get the right package and everything a weekday, because we did Utah, Alabama, January the 6th on a Monday, and someone hollered, y'all doing a weekday? Man, this is used to us. We used to do this with Willie. Weekday wasn't nothing, man. We'll sing Monday, Tuesday, maybe off Wednesday, singing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have some from Monday through Sunday. Um, yes, 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 sure have, man. I'm telling you, it's the way we're used to it, man. We sung here. You know, I live in Huntsville now. We did Huntsville, Alabama, on a Sunday, Easter Sunday. Yeah, on an Easter Sunday, and had to be in Philadelphia Monday. So, so we made it to Philadelphia at 4 o'clock. But we sung. We got off stage and we sat in the parking lot, getting everything squared away. We left about 9 that night and took off going to Philadelphia and made it there by 4 o'clock Monday on stage. So it's some jumps we did a lot, you know, jump from here to here or here to there, you know, long drives, but we made it.
So did man, you kind of got me. I'm kind of
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
man. I'm still trying to process all them working days, y'all.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. And I mean, I can. What I'm speaking is true because you know I did the booking a little while, but I don't want to jump ahead to that. But you know, I did do the booking for Willie when we got to the new keynotes. You know, I did a lot of the booking. So um, we was working out of DC at YG Records. I don't know if you remember that. The True Tones. We're walking the True Tones out of DC. So we was
Okay.
working out the office there in DC. So anywhere I leave and go, I had to call and leave the number where I'm at. So, you know, man, I have a list of promoters you got to call. So most of my times is up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. They calling you at that time, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, making sure they get that date.
Wow. So,
Yes.
did y'all ever have to drive the bus in it, or did y'all? It was just always the driver. Or how was
Well,
that?
this is the funniest thing, man. This was with the original keynotes before. I was with the original before the new as well. I didn't know if you knew that or not. So um, I played with the original for like maybe 5, 6 years before my brother and them came over. Larry Mac had, I don't know what some happened with Mac. So Willie and Larry was driving the bus. I hadn't told him yet that I could drive. So Larry had, we was in, what part of Mississippi was that? Columbus, Mississippi, or Greenville, Mississippi, or somewhere down there. And Larry came and left because Larry was driving his Eldorado Cadillac he just bought. So we had to leave from there and be in Detroit. So Willie started out driving. I woke up. We was in Cincinnati, I think. And man, Willie couldn't hardly keep his eyes open. I said, Willie, if you pull over, let me freshen up, brush my teeth, and get some breakfast or something out here. He said, son, you can't drive this bus. I didn't ever tell him I knew how. Son, you don't know how to drive it. I said, well, Willie, you can't keep your eyes open. I said, I'm a little scared. So he told Val, because Val was sitting up in the living room, he said, I'm going to have to try David. I'm tired, So as soon as we got back on the bus, I started driving. Willie was out. I'm talking about knocked out, sleep. About 7 o'clock that night, I was pulling up in Detroit. I said, Willie. He jumped up from the back. His room was in the back. I said, where's the hotel? He said, where are we at? I said, in Detroit. He said, oh, my God. And I said, what I do that for? Soon as we sung in Detroit, he said, David, come here. He said, we'll stop at the truck stop, eat, take my shot. He was a diabetic. I'm going to take my shot and eat. He said, no, I'm going to let you have it. I said, I knew it.
Yep, that's how I was thinking at one time.
At one time. But I never let him know I know how to drive it. So after that, I got stuck with it. Me,
Wow.
Willie, and then Larry. And then, later on, the other one started driving. So we didn't need a bus driver. So we were paying I said, well, they ain't finna pay us to drive the bus like the bus driver would get paid. So that's how I ended up driving the bus, man. And it was funny. I said, I done messed up now, but, I didn't want to see him struggling like that, man,
Yeah.
After he just got off stage and sweating. And when you drain, man, you're tired. So he had drove a long ways anyhow from Mississippi to almost to Cincinnati. So, yeah. So that's the way it was, man.
Did y'all ever fly, or y'all just drove everywhere?
Well, we flew when we had to be somewhere further, but most of the time we drove. Like we flew from DC to California sometime, but we drove mostly, when it wasn't too far. We had the beds and the living room up front, and so everybody sleep that drive, get good sleep and everything. So but like a lot of flights we did, it'd be like to Alaska, California, Seattle, Washington, and stuff like that. And so we'll fly and come back and be at the next show. So, and we have missed flights.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Just had that happen in the weekend.
Yeah. Well, we missed some that we shouldn't have missed, man. We started telling Willie, we gotta go, Willie. He's still up there getting down, man. When we get to the airport and supposed to be, man, we did New York and had to be in Baltimore that same day. We could have made it, but me and Val started telling Willie, it's time to go. And he's still trying to get that last little bit in. So we got to the airport, we saw our plane taking off. We said, oh, well, that's that, So, and that's how it was, man. That's why we missed some of them. We sitting in the airport in Miami going to the Bahamas, and Val around there and didn't let us know they were boarding the plane. We still sitting in the airport and Val over in the Bahamas. Willie said, now he could have came, got us. So we had to catch a different flight, man. And Willie was hot. Now, he could have come and had him the pages or something. Val is sitting over in the Bahamas and we still sitting in Miami, man. So Willie said, when they gonna call us to board? I said, we must have missed it because Val is in the Bahamas.
Val had his feet kicked up somewhere.
Man, yes, sir. Yeah, Val. I said, Val, you could have had him the pages, man. We sat there a long time too, man. Willie was hot. Yeah, so
I'm only 31, and in all my 31 years, I've never heard nobody say a negative word about Mr. Willie ever.
Man, let me tell you,
he's a genuine person. Like I've never heard nothing bad.
down to earth cat, man. People
Mhm.
don't believe this. Willie hated limousines. What I mean about that, he was an old fashioned guy. He didn't want to be pulled up in nothing fancy. That was just him. And he don't want to be at the hotel. He want to be there. He was a people person, man.
Mhm.
He loved to interact with you and everything. The people, he loved that. Cause we flew from New York to Miami, and they picked us up in a limousine. Man, you ride here, Willie. Oh man, I don't want to Willie. It's not to show you, it's just to get you to the program, man. So he didn't want to get in. I said, you're getting in here, man. You're getting in this limo. Because they had to split our flights up, So it was me, Willie, I forgot who it was. Man, I said, you getting in here. We finna go to this program, man. He got on in, but I said, come on, doctor. We called him Dr. J. I said, come on, Dr. J, man. We gotta go, man. I said, it ain't like you finna just chauffeur you around and all that. We going straight to the program, man.
Right.
But he was just that old fashioned people person. He would talk to any and everybody, He had the days where he was upset and everything, but it wasn't nothing to be, because, everybody have their days and whatever, but it wasn't no angry or nothing, just a little upset about, maybe something happened at the program or the equipment wasn't right, the sound wasn't right, or something. You'll get upset about it because he loved to do a great job, man, when he's singing, but he's very down to earth people person, man. So he been knowing me, with me and my brothers and everybody, we were little kids, man, because him and my dad, they sung together for years. Yeah, sung together for years. Mm-hmm.
Man. So as far as like performance wise, have you ever known him to have like just an off night?
No. Like I said, he gonna have one if the equipment is messing up, keep doing, and something else, that's where you get frustrated at. But no, for us, man, Willie gonna enjoy himself. Whether you sit there and look at him, or Willie gonna make sure people enjoy coming to hear the keynotes. He's just that way. Do you remember they showed this video? You might not see it on the Facebook sometime, where the cans on stage, they had on the red sequence. That was the in King Street or either Lake
King
City.
Street.
I can't remember. Right. You know what time the keynotes came up?
What time?
3:00 in the morning.
Man.
We came on. That's when Willie came on with Jesus on the main line.
Right.
It was at 3. Willie said, I got here Saturday and they didn't let me sing to Sunday. So yeah, he said that. And we was last. So they had all of these. I got here Saturday and they didn't let me sing to Sunday. So, but you see how hard he still got up there and worked.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care what time it was. He's going to sing until his suit is soaking wet, So that's how he's going to give you what God gave him. And he didn't care what time it was. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, man. Because they had a lot of groups on that thing. And I don't think no one had a time limit. So, it was, Doc, Slim, with messengers, I can go on and on. Willis Pittman, there was a lot of people on that groups on there, even local groups. So,
right.
And that's what time we was last, dead last. And he still sung just that hard. But, he could have got frustrated. He could have got at, man, when y'all gonna let me come? Oh, this happened and that. But he never said one word. And hit the stage and sang like he just got there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all have somewhere to be that next day?
Oh yeah, I can't remember where it was, but we was there. Willie not gonna miss a show unless, the bus broke down or something. That's the only way he gonna miss, but he gonna make sure he's there. He's gonna make sure he's there. And the thing about it, the bus hardly ever broke down because he's gonna keep his service.
Yeah.
Even if ain't nothing wrong with it, we can't pass a place in Fredericksburg where you get it fixed. But he gonna stop and have his service, man. So that was him. Yeah.
That's smart.
Oh yeah.
That's the way to get your money. So
yeah. Sometimes we be ready to go home. Man, you stopping here? Man, but he didn't care. He still go stop at that bus service, man. And that's him.
Did y'all sing at a lot of Sunday morning services?
No, we didn't do a lot of Sunday morning. We did maybe 1, 2. I might count them on my hand that I know. Now, what they done before me, I don't know. but we have done some, but not a lot of them. Not a lot, you know. And we'll get up and go to some church services when we're not. We might sing that night, but we'll go to some church and just visit, you know, and stuff like that. But we didn't do a lot of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So y'all would leave out on like say Monday, and just would you be gone for weeks at a time or
Weeks, months, man. When I got married, man, I moved here. I forgot how far I had to drive a long ways. I got here on a Monday, and I had to leave back out on a Wednesday morning. We were just off that Tuesday. I had to leave Wednesday morning, sang that Wednesday night. So we was off. We sung Sunday, a little Sunday. I got here Monday, and then I had to leave Wednesday morning. So it's just like, man, I just got home. Now I just got to leave, you know. So yeah, we stayed gone. We stayed gone. We would go out to California and do like 3 weeks out there. And the only reason why we do that many because we only go once a year unless someone calls us and we'll fly out there. So every first of the year is California. And man, it is packed because they know we're not going to see them again until next year. So, man, we'll come into Los Angeles. Oh, a guy named Ali Collins. Man, the place is just packed. It is very packed, man. And we'll do that and go do Oxnard, Bakersfield, Fresno, Oakland, Palo Alto. I mean, we did a lot of California. And then we'll come back and do a farewell tour in Los Angeles, you know, and leave out, go into El Paso, and head it back out, you know.
And I'm sure I can pretty much guarantee y'all closed every night.
Yes, just about, yeah, just about every night, man. We knew we was last, you know? and I'm telling you, man, it was the experience for me is one of the best experience I experienced in gospel. You know, done a lot of gospel singing, but ending up with the keynotes were one of the best, greatest experience, you know, of my journey with them. The thing is that it's exciting. You had, you know, the guys in the groups are just like your blood brothers.
Right.
You know, we all was close. All of them, like Perry Taft, Jeff, Teddy, all them guys taught me everything out there, you know, that I know. You know, they're going to teach you everything, the do's and the don'ts, and you can't do this, you can't do that, or whatever. And you know, they're gonna protect you, you know, they're gonna protect you. And they teach you about the business and everything. And, you know, how to dress. You know, we had to have on a suit, man. Even with the new kids, walk around. You know, Willie used to just find people if they had on the wrong sock, you know. So you had to, back in the days, you had to dress, you know. We couldn't go in there. Only way we could have on shorts and on all of that is we setting up equipment before people get there. Right. But when after that, I go to that bus, man, and look presentable, you know. He didn't play that when you walk around in basketball shorts with these, what they got these slides on, what they call them, got with the Crocs and all them things. Yeah. Oh, Willie didn't play that, man. If you had on some bad looking tennis shoes, hey, you need to go put some clothes on. He'll tell you. Yeah. Now he was very, very professional about that, man. Mm-hmm. Very professional, man. It was, you know, that way. It was so, you know, straight down the line. You know, that's how it was with him. You know, so. You know, you had some funny days, man, some things that were real funny. I was telling one of my brothers today about the recordings, man. I don't want to get ahead of you, but it was like people didn't know the keynotes did their first 45 up on you remember that bread, Sunbeam bread? You remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's they had a record label. Yeah. They had a record label called Sunbeam Records. Yeah. Wow. And they did their 45 up on the Sunbeam Records. You know, that bread with the little girl on it eating a piece of bread. Yeah. Yeah. They did a 45 up under there, and I was telling them how when it got to the new keynotes, you know, the 5-ring binders, you know, the tablets, like we were selling Country Boy Goes Home before it come out. You know, so you got about 30 lines on the paper there. They was paying us before the CD and the DVD came out. So the front and the back, you're looking at $2,400 on the first page of the front and back. And man, you had lines of people paying for it. And so when I went to Malaco, they had 9 18-wheelers, UPS 18-wheelers.
Yeah.
They was loading them, shipping folks their CD. Roy Wooten, God rest his soul, one of the greatest guys you ever want to meet, a PR guy, man. We was very close, very close. And I stopped through there going home. And he said, look what y'all did. I said, what? He said, all them trucks for y'all. He said, that's the day, and they'll be back tomorrow. So that CD was Frank Williams told us that was the largest CD sale in Malaco history, was Country Boy Goes Home.
And it's still selling to this day.
That's what I heard. And but that was the largest selling. That was Frank Williams told. And man, it was exciting, because I did a lot of recordings with him. I'm Yours, Lord, and all the other ones I did with the original. But it was very exciting to hear all that, man. You being a part of that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So how many live albums did you play on with the Keynotes?
We only did two live. That was Country Boy Goes Home and the one in Fayetteville. And then I did, in the studio was one. Even after I left, we did most of the shows. There were 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I was on 5 in the studio. And I was gonna do the live one right before he passed. I was in Longview, Texas, and I had wrote Willie 3 songs. They came to Huntsville and and rehearsed for 3 days. And then after he got sick, right after he did that thing with Kirk Franklin.
Right.
He got sick and called me and said, hey, he said, I ain't gonna be able to do the recording. He said, I'm sick. So, he told me to come by the house. He gave me money. Now, after that was it. He went in the hospital. So, that was one of the most saddest part, man, because me and Teddy talked, was it the day or yesterday? We was laughing about it, man. We said, man, we missed that guy, man. Willie was funny as well, man. This cat was funny, man.
Yeah.
You would love to be around Willie Neal Johnson because he was funny as well, And we loved that because, man, he had a great sense of humor. He'd sit up in the living room and laugh with us, crack jokes with us. Most people think probably he was serious all the time, man. But nah, he would have fun with you. He really would.
So my favorite one, I think, it was the Fayetteville record. That was my favorite. How did y'all prepare for that one?
Let me ask you something. Why was it your favorite? You can go and say it because everybody else do. So was it when the lady came on stage? Yeah, I figured you was going there. So
you got to break that down. You got to tell us how that.
It was funny, man. Luther Barnes, when he saw me, he said, David, we watch you at least once a week, once a month. I said, huh? He said, we watch you at least once a month. So it was funny how when we hit Jesus on the Main Line to drive. So, one lady, she got there, shook Willie's hand. She wanted to come on up. So Willie backed up and let her up. So another lady come, you saw him when he was shouting on stage. So after she shook Willie's hand, it looked like she turned around at the audience and said, I made it, So, but people don't realize this is what she said. And that's mainly why I'm laughing too. She come back there toward us and she said, a mic. And people didn't hear her say it. She said, a mic. And she got in line, bent that mic down.
Wow.
And with the singing, and I'm back there and I said, Lord, forgive me, I cannot hold it because she said a mic, and what tickled me too, the man on the floor is telling him. And man, that was the most, and everybody I see said, man, you dying back there. I said, bro, I couldn't hold that one when she holler, a mic, but man, that thing that when I set that up, because I told Willie, I said, Willie, you need to do your next recording, live recording in Fayetteville. He said, don't you handle my business? He said, call Roy Wooten and get that set up. And we made it happen, man. And when I called Roy, he said, let me get back with you. So they got everything set up, man. And it was like 10 minutes to 7. And we supposed to be on at 7. I walked back to the prison. I said, man, ain't nobody in here, man. I was so nervous. I said, man, did I mess up? I don't see you. Man, they opened them doors about 6:55. Because they said, y'all better get dressed. Y'all next. Y'all coming up. I looked out. I said, oh, my God. But the people was outside. They hadn't let them in yet. I didn't go to the front because Willie was doing interviews and everything. And man, that place was packed from the rafters and all. And then people were still coming in on our third song.
Wow.
Still coming in. Yeah. and that place was packed, man. I think them tickets was 40 and 50 some dollars. They was up there. Wasn't no 25 and 30. They was up there. So the anniversary you seeing we do up in Fayetteville,
Fayetteville, yeah.
Fayetteville, we
Mhm.
started that. Keno started that.
Wow.
We was doing Fayetteville State
Mhm.
with C-1500. Then we did a little brunch thing, and that's when it started. I would go get on the radio with a guy named Andre DeLoach. I would come through there going home and stop there, and we'd get on the radio. And Miss Washington, God rest her soul, she was there. There was a lot of them. West, it was the owner, and we would do that. And he'll come sit down and ask what was my idea. So we started having those. The keynote started those anniversaries.
Wow.
Sure did. Mm-hmm.
Um, the other song I like off there, just thinking about it, is "To Be Like Jesus."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that song.
Yeah, yeah. That young lady named Doretha,
Mm-hmm.
and she rehearsed that song there in Fayetteville, man, and it's a nice one. That turned out real good, and so that choir was really awesome. That was awesome.
Who is that choir?
They in Fayetteville somewhere. I forgot the name of the choir, but they out of Fayetteville, right there in Fayetteville.
Okay.
The Andre and all them brought that choir in, and they did an awesome job, you know. So the music was rearranged by most of them. So you see most of their band members is playing that song. You know, we let them
Okay.
play it. Yeah, I'm not on drums. I don't even think my brother on guitar. I think on somebody played bass was my brother.
Hmm.
Elton is not on keyboard. We let them play that song. That one, yeah, it sure did. So that's who mostly the musicians are. They're church musicians
Okay.
on that song there. Mm-hmm.
Um. Let's see. I'm looking at the comments. Your brother KT, he watching. He gave you a shout out.
What up, KT?
Let's see.
Yeah.
What kind of equipment you used back in the day?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, my drums I had two set. I had a pearl, and that's the white set on Fayetteville is mine. I had a teal green Tama, man. They was nice. We used mostly that PV stuff for speakers and all that. That was the ongoing thing back then.
Right.
PV was hitting hard. We were set up, man. We didn't have a problem with no sound back then. We set up and everything and have our own, and that's why you be hollering, the sound man was wrong. This wrong. We didn't have that because we were set up.
Set up your own. Yeah.
But like if they're having a big thing, somebody will bring in a great sound guy, and they would do a great job. Cause like I said, man, Willie would go crazy, you know. But you know what, man? Let me change this here. We was on the road before it came to the new keynotes, and people don't know that. We was Paul Beasley first group when he left the Clouds. Me, my brothers, and my brother-in-law, Mike Jackson, and my cousin, Benny Holland. We was Paul Beasley first group. We traveled out on the road.
Wow.
Sure was. We was his first group. And but before they got to that, Willie would come home we'll have a week off maybe for December or 2 weeks with original. Willie would go home and sing. I'm telling you, that's how much he loved to sing, man. He would go home and get my brothers, and they would do programs in Texas for 2 weeks, Monday through Sunday, open door, and it's packed. I'm talking about people all outside, and he will make more money a lot of times on open door in Texas than he would a ticket program. Yeah. And that was funny. So I found out about it. I said, okay, I'm gonna go home this week. And he's, hey son, I said, yeah, you down here packing our places, making some money. Huh? You can call me with my brother. So, man, he would do Greenville, Texas, Dallas on open door, but then he'll come back to ticket program and still sold out. And that was strange. That's how much people loved him.
Right.
He'll do Tyler open door, but he'll come back to Tyler and it's still packed out too. So, man, Willie just loved singing, man. We all off 2 weeks said we're gonna enjoy this 2 weeks, but he's still singing. This joke is still singing, man, on 2 weeks off or a week and a half in December before we head to California. That's what he would do. He would go get my brothers and them, and they do programs there. And I mean, it is packed. I said, man, y'all been doing this for how many years? Yeah, at least 5 or 6. I said, I'm just not finding out about it. I'm gonna go home and make some of this money.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mm.
that's what he would do, man. So it's a lot of things, man. And funniest thing is that me and Val Alexander, before I knew about royalties, we wrote "Lord, I Thank You" and "Lord, Don't Ever Leave Me"
Mm.
in Waterloo, Iowa. I said, Val Willie took our song, man, and making money. So we was at Waterloo, Iowa, man. And he said, go get them guys. And we done this song and he recorded them, man. Val put the music, the Lord I Thank You and all of that. So it was just funny how Willie had a way of, you know, bringing people in and making them feel welcome. And he done that, man, with me. And I just thank God for the opportunity I had, you know.
I remember before Keith passed, he told me um Willie would take them on the road, and sometimes they would fill in, and if they didn't have the money, Willie would tell the promoters to take some money from y'all pay and give it to his group.
Yeah. Man, let me tell you, he helped a lot of people. Willie
Yeah.
had helped a lot of people. I'm gonna tell you the thing the thing about it. He would tell you, "Come on, I can guarantee you no $1,000. We would guarantee you some money." So I mean, the Lumsey sister traveled with us, the Patterson brothers, Truthettes. He brought all them in, and there's some more he brought in. It just Doc McKenzie, he brought Doc here, and he gave Doc some of his time when he said, "I got somebody I want y'all to hear." You
Mm.
know, he would cut his time to give, and they'll tell you that, man. Willie was just that way. He helped anybody that he could, you know, and that's how he was. He gonna do that, and there's a lot of them that when I was booking, I got a lot of calls from groups. Hey man, can you do this? Can you do that? But man, when Willie left here, you call and ask for help. They ain't calling you back, man. So like, brother, can y'all remember what I done at least?
Right,
But
right.
I ran it by Willie before I would just say, yeah, come on. I run it by Willie.
Mm.
Like the Joy Boys out of Nashville, I brought
Mm.
them on the road.
Okay.
So yeah, they didn't believe me when I said, y'all want to travel? Oh man, everybody done promised. I said, well, it's up to y'all. Y'all want to go or not? So I ran it by Willie and I brought them out, and that's history. So yeah, and they raised at least 3 to 3,500 on an open door in Richmond, Virginia.
Wow.
It was just us in the Mississippi Mass, and that place was packed. And they did about 3 songs, and I got them their first recording, professional recording.
Hmm.
For Leonard Moyer out of Maryland. He the one brought out Little Cedric and the Haley Singers and all them. I got them signed with him, and that's that. The rest of that is history with them. That's how they came out on the road.
I know
Mm-hmm.
Alan from the Gospel Legends, he talk a lot about y'all too. Like everything
Yeah.
he said was good. Like I didn't even know he traveled with y'all for a while, him and his brother.
Yeah, man. Alan, now, man, I'm gonna tell you, they got a good group, and those some down to earth cats, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Very down to earth cat. They was with us in Kilgore, Texas last year for Oh You Out New Year In. And man, just sitting down talking to them and learning some things that they have went through and everything, man. Those are some great guys, man. They are truly awesome, great guys. They really are.
Yeah.
My hats off to them, man, because and but all of y'all are great, man. You, Lil Roy, and all of y'all great people, man. And just the honor y'all give us, we don't deserve it, but we came just like y'all did. But it's a privilege just to sit down and talk to y'all to see what y'all go through and how y'all handle things when we met y'all. At Tony Shelley, that's another brother of mine, when we did the show in Georgia, Return of the Keynotes, and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah, that was a great program, man. That was a great program down there. We call him the Deep. And meeting y'all and talking to y'all, taking pictures together and everything, man, that was one of the most exciting things, to get together, take pictures, and there's some memories that we'll have, memories that, hey, man, I met Richard down here, man, great guy on keyboard, awesome player, awesome musician. So, and I ain't just saying that because you're on here, because I done told you that before.
Right.
So y'all great talent, man, that coming on up, and and y'all can give that to somebody coming behind y'all. That's the good thing about it.
And man, I remember, I'll never forget that night when y'all did sound check. I was like a kid in the candy store. I was like, it sounded exactly like what I heard on them tapes growing up. Ain't nothing changed. Like y'all still sound like the rest. And I almost started to cry. I had to walk out because I was about to cry.
Man,
Y'all sound
Michael
terrible.
Boone,
I think
Michael
y'all
Boone came in our dressing room, man, and my
mm,
brother was playing them songs from the '60s. All of them was in a circle, and that was one of the most exciting things. I was just sitting back and watching all the other people that never heard some of them songs before. Just as long as you need him, and Wide River, and they didn't realize my brother was playing that stuff ever since they was young. So, and they were playing songs some of the younger never heard of. All of God's children and stuff
mm,
like that. So Michael Boone was like, oh my God, Mike did not move, man. He
I
was sitting
believe
there.
it.
Yeah, they was all in a circle singing Teddy and all of them. And that's what the most exciting thing, to see all the younger and the older in there singing together, man. That was a sight to see. That was really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That
because
was
I know that did it for me when I think y'all sound checked on Jesus on the Main. It was Mainline or
yeah,
it was
we did
one of
little
them
Jesus
songs. Yeah, and I was
main line. Jesus been good to me. We brushed over that one and something else. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
we
I was
went.
like, man,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't take it. Yeah, I mean, it's when I say it, I mean, I know people can sound like the record, but y'all sounded exactly like them VHS tapes from back. Your brother
He
hit
was
that
some of the
chord on that grip.
bootleg
I said,
ones.
blim, blim, blim. I said, oh yeah, I ain't moving. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. It was sound check,
Man,
man. It was like everybody was like, man, we ain't doing nothing. Why everybody standing around with this. But it's exciting, man. Like I said, it was a joyful time down there in Georgia on what Tony Shelley had,
right.
to be with everybody, to meet everybody, and I enjoyed that. I really did. I wish we could do that again.
I was just
That
about
was
to say,
that
I
was
want to bring y'all back to Georgia. We
Yeah,
see if we can work something out. See what we can
yeah.
do.
Oh, we can do that, man. We I would love to come back there, man. I was trying to do something in August because Tony Shelley birthday in August and mine in August, so we had thought about trying to do something then, thinking of some groups or something to bring, because we are gonna call it a birthday bash, me and him.
I
So
think he on here now. Yeah, he on here. He in the
is it
comments. Yeah.
okay? All right. Oh, man, it's my brother there. Yeah, good people, man. And but man, I tell you, and I'm gonna tell you some funny things, man. So because we don't want to all just be serious on it. So I remember one night we was in Chattanooga, and the lights went out on the bus. It was funny, and
Mhm.
so everybody else went off and got dressed except Val. So Val had got dressed, and he had the same kind of shoe, but they was different colors. He had a burgundy pair and a blue pair. So
Mhm.
man, we didn't notice it. We got up to go sing. He dressed on the bus. So we were getting ready to sing, and I don't think Willie was there. So Jeff Lee sang that night. And we hit
Mhm.
this heart of mine, and Jeff come back to DT. Man, I can't call Val out. I said, why? He said, look at his shoe. Val had on a burgundy and a blue one. So he said, I ought to call him out and let him do his dance on this. I said, don't do him like that, man. Val had put on one blue one and one burgundy, man. And nobody paid any attention until Jeff said, DT, I ought to call him out here just on purpose. I said, don't do him like that, man. We looked down, Val had on a blue shoe and a
Man.
burgundy shoe, man. He said, I ought to call him out, let him do his thing on the guitar. I said, don't do it, man. So Val said, man, I didn't even pay no attention. I said, well, we laughed on stage about that, man. That was so funny, you know.
Did y'all
And
find him
Val,
for
no, the Willie wasn't there. The lights went off, man. We had to get the switch. Some had went out, but we got it fixed the next morning. But it was funny, man. We have had people to come up on stage, man, while we singing. You know, we were doing Keno's Prayer in Providence, Rhode Island. I never
it?
forget it. So we was up there. We getting ready to go. Willie said, Keno's Prayer. Hey, Doug. And dude come out there and told my brother, the one to play bass, get back. I got it. So that lady ain't the only one that come in the background. So My brother said, okay. He told me, bro, get back. Man, when Willie got that part, that guy got to hitting that stuff like Robert. Okay, Maurice Morgan went to the left.
Mhm.
I mean, they done left the stage while Willie's singing. My other brother went to the right of the stage. Ted and the other one went behind me. Guess who out there? Just me and Willie and the guy in the background. Willie turned around and said, my fellas done left me. Bro, it was so Maurice over there banging on the thing on side of the stage, laughing so hard. Willie said, how he get up there singing? My brother said, he come up there and told me, get back, I got it. So, man, it's some funny things that happen out there, man. I'll tell you, it's amazing, man. So that lady ain't the only one ever come up on stage. So
you can't do stuff like that now.
No, I do it. No, not there, but man, I mean, Willie, it was me on drum. I'm up there going boom, boom, boom. I ain't got no music. Keyboard player, everybody gone.
Everybody gone.
Yeah. So Willie quit singing, looked back and said, y'all, my fellas done left me. And the guy went to Paul Beasley. Went on up there. We like, man, that ain't even part of the song, you know. So, man, that's what makes stuff, you know, you look back later and laugh about it, man. Yeah. It'd be so fun, man, after that when you think about it. You know, it just you done seen it all, you know. And that's you got people come to the program drunk. One guy leaning on the stage and he leaning banging on stage, talking about Willie, make him whistle, Willie. He talking about Robert hitting the please, man. He up there banging on. And when Robert hit that note, man, he'll lay on the stage. Good God Almighty, he'll bang. He come, hey Richard, he'll come back again and say, make him whistle again. Willie, make him whistle. I said, man, I said, you know, and that's the kind of stuff you would see back. Like I said, back then, that kind of what we was doing, man, it was exciting, you know, to sing and meet people, and you meet friendly people, you have family people out there, you know, that you can call your family, you can depend on it, because you know you learn, and people that love you, you don't act arrogant or whatever just because we wasn't that way. And a lot of people, you say, man, y'all laugh and talk to everybody. Hey, we human just like y'all. You know, we're singing for God, not to be like we bigger than Michael Jackson or anything. So you would have some people out there doing that, don't even want you talking to them, you know. So I didn't understand it, but that's their ways. But, you know, we wasn't that way, down to earth, and we feel that way now, you know. And don't never want to think we bigger than anybody else. We just human, normal. You know, we did it. Now y'all doing it. You're doing the same thing we did, you know. Enjoying and loving what you do.
You're right.
Yeah.
What do you think? What was the biggest crowd or the biggest show you've ever been on with the keynotes?
Woo, man, it's been a bunch. Like I told you, we did that one in Dallas. but for us not having now, we did the Chicago Gospel Fest. That is huge. We did that on a weekday. Weekday. I forgot. I think it was a weekday. Man, that thing it's where the Chicago Bulls Holy Championship thing, you know, when they won, Michael and went, it's the same crowd you see there. That's the way it was at the Gospel Fest. And man, Willie and Pop Winans, man, Willie was hitting that drive. Pop Winan couldn't hold it. He had to come outside and get him some. Man,
Pop Winan?
Yes, Lord. He said, good God Almighty, man. He come out there, grab that mic, man. Him and Willie went to work, man.
Wow.
And so that one now, we did one. It wasn't no majors. We was the only major on there. And I know that man had to have at least 6,000-7,000 people. And man, that place was packed. I forgot where that was. And now we went to new keynotes. And I'm talking about, man, them folks was in an uproar. We did Illinois, Rockford. Man, that place was packed. So it's been a lot. I mean, and I think that was on a Friday night. And that place was, I mean, loaded, man. It was loaded. And so we have sung to a big crowd of people a lot. And especially when it changed over from the original keynotes to the new keynotes, you had people coming out, packing it out just to see what he had, you know. And when they heard it, man, it got even bigger with the new keynotes. It really did.
Right.
because it's something different. It was something different. Different faces, but not. The music was the same. On some song, we just kind of flavored it up, changed it up a little bit, but it was still the same thing.
Who you
But it
think might
was.
have been the biggest celebrity you met on the road?
Say it again.
Who you think, as far as like the biggest celebrity, who you think that you've met in
You
your
talking about
time?
in gospel?
No,
In
just
gospel?
period, like celebrity period.
Hmm.
Like somebody global, if you can think.
Let me think. Met a lot of them.
Any athletes?
Well, glad you said that, man. We didn't meet Magic, but we met his mom and parents. We ate over their house. Um, Dr. Charles Tucker was the agent for Magic. Thomas Hearns, all the NBA players. We met Andre Rison, Steve, that Smith guy played with Miami Heat.
Yeah, Steve Smith.
Yeah, Steve Smith. His name's Steve too. I know one of them played football.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, yeah, we met a lot of those guys. But here's the funny thing, man, is that we played basketball. This is what was funny. The agent was 50-something years old. He would go running 5 miles and then go shoot basketball. So we sung at his mother's 50th wedding anniversary. He woke us up about after we got there. He said, "Hey, I need to speak to David." I said, "This is he. Y'all scared of this butt whooping?" I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "We waiting on you." Man, we beat him so bad that he paid us just to come back to play basketball. Man gave us, we had to book shows around. He gave us $4,000 just to come play basketball. So we played that weekday and then did the weekend. So we booked around him, and it was Southern Air with there, Ben Tank and all of it. And he had Atlanta Hawks agent, the recruiting guy, Morehouse, all these college guys, man. He brought us back. We played pro players. He had got some pro players. And they barely beat us, me and my brother, but he had all the big time stars, Thomas Hearn. But now, I met like one guy was a soap opera guy. I forgot his name. He was big time. He came out of California. It was a bunch of big people, man. Like I said, we met the OJs. That's a lot of them, man. But for as like TV wise, that's about the only guy that I met that I can think of right now, And it's funny that some of them know you,
Right. I know they say Babyface like Quartet. Did y'all ever meet him?
Now, well, he wasn't there with his brothers. I never met Babyface. He wasn't there with his brother when they was on the show After 7.
Right.
But he wasn't there. Yeah, he wasn't there. And but man, it was so funny. Some of them guys would come up and ask for Val Alexander. I want to meet Val. Yeah. They would say, I want to meet Val. Because, man, he could play some guitar, man. And them folks knew him. I want to meet Val Alexander. And because, we used to stay next door to the Forum. So we met all in Inglewood. We stayed next to the Forum. And we could walk out the hotel right across the street to the Forum. And, I went over there and met a lot of the basketball players, went to the game and all that. So you'll meet a lot of big-time people, man, being out there. You'll meet some of them.
I remember I think I seen a post, Raphael Sadiq from Tony. He paid homage to y'all.
Yeah, well, we met him. I met him. He used to come to shows in Oakland, because it's funny, like Jubu, when I met him, he was playing with the Lumsey sister. That was the nephew. So he was playing drums because, they traveled around with us. They toured with us. Willie brought them on the road. And so we did Hartford, Connecticut. It was us, the Lumseys, Sons of Glory, Southern Airs. And he said, "Hey, man, can you play drums tonight?" I said, "What you going to play?" He said, "Guitar." I said, "Guitar." I said, "Okay, play." Man, when this dude picked that axe up, bro, I swear to God, man, it was us. And one guy was traveling with us, but he was hanging with the Lumsey. And he told us, that's when they had Shoney's and Shoney's Inn back then. We stayed, stopped, got breakfast. This dude saying, "Hey, man, I'm going to be dancing with MC Hammer." Man, Julie, yeah, right, And he called me and said, "Hey, bro, dude on TV dance with MC Hammer." So, and that's when we laughed, man. And that's when that next day he said, "Man, can you play drums?" I said, "Yeah, man." I said, "What you gonna play?" That dude picked up this Black Gibson, man. And when they started singing, I was like, "Oh my God, man, this dude, yeah, what are you doing playing drums,
You're
man?
right.
This dude man, when he picked up that guitar, I said, Jesus, you know." So that's when I met him, man, and you know, we were hanging around because, you know, I guess we were around about close to the same age, and we be playing music and everything, man. So it was exciting just to hear him picking up the guitar. So he come by there, him and we met Patty LaBelle, bass player. He come there.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of them will come to Oakland. What was her name? Betty Stewart. She would bring us every year, and Betty would have that place packed, man. She was a good promoter. Yeah, because her son sung with the Sons of Glory for a little bit, so that would always be a nice program, man. A lot of people would come out. Met Morgan Freeman. Um, him and his daughter came to the concert. Yeah,
Morgan Freeman like quartet.
yeah, he came out. Him and his daughter. Yeah, sure
Wow.
did. Hmm.
I guess you'll really be surprised of the people who actually do like it, but they just I guess they don't really talk about it. But people
Yeah.
really they watch and listen.
Hmm. Yeah. You'll be shocked. You know, a lot of people that knew the keynotes. I didn't know a lot of them knew the keynotes that way. You know, and that's how it was, man. So like I said, when I first got with them, man, it was exciting. You know, because I already knew most of them. Because Paul stayed at our house.
Mhm.
Cause my daddy went got him from DeRitter. Lonnie Hill. I don't think y'all know Lonnie Hill, do you?
No, I
Um,
don't know him.
One of the originals, man. Um, Guitar player before Val. He's still living. He will be there, and he'll sit up and play with my brother now. Get the guitar and they get out and play in the house. And so all of them would just come there and stay when he off come through, stay, and they would go. Because I watch Ricky Boston, I watch Ricky McKinley and all that. But one of my favorite drummers for the keynotes was Red Stuckey, the albino dude.
I hadn't
Um,
seen him.
Oh man, this dude was so solid. He's on the album covers. He's the albino, the light skinned one with the red hair, like on the album covers.
Hmm.
But look him up, man. It was funny. Charlotte. And we was one come out with two drummers. Ricky set up with me in Charlotte one night. Man, you should have saw the musicians on stage like, oh man, David Talley and Ricky Boston. He set up, and then Red Stuckey came there and done it. He lived down in Jonesboro, South Carolina, somewhere down there by not too far, but he did it also. Man, I was so excited when Red played with me, man. This dude was solid with the keynotes. And yeah, we call him Red Stuckey. Man, this dude could play. He was solid. Yeah,
Okay,
he
I
could
got to
play.
check him
So
out.
yeah, we both set up together that night. Me and Ricky Boston. Then the next time, me and Red. And I was like, man, I'm playing with one of my idols, man.
Right.
So I kept two sets under there, and he emailed it. I said, hey, you get that other set out, you're gonna have to set them up and put them back under there. And they would do it, man. But it was exciting, man. I played with Ricky. Ricky was one of my favorite. And then Red was my favorite, man. I used to watch him, and man, that dude was solid. I'm talking about like playing a snare, like shooting at somebody when he hit it. Yeah, this dude he was good. Yeah, he was good.
Let me see. I'm about to put some on the screen. I want you to see if you can see it.
Hmm.
Let's see. Mm, okay. I had a chance. Make sure this is the right one. Okay. Had a chance to check this out a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's Dr. J, huh?
Yes, sir. When I went to the
Yeah,
White Cohen funeral, I said I got to go. I got to find it.
you
It
down
took
there?
me.
Is that in Galilee? Is that down there?
Yes, sir,
Where's that?
Galilee.
Yeah, that's where you from. Born and raised, Galilee.
Yep. Sure find it, man. And it's like I said, it was a little dirty and stuff, but I managed to find it. I walked around about 30 minutes right there in the graveyard trying to find it.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Hey man, his funeral was packed, man. It was packed. I barely got a seat when I got
Wow.
there. I got there a little late. Me and my wife and kids got a seat, man, and it was packed. I mean, they had it at the auditorium. I mean, it wasn't no seats left. Wasn't no seats. And my brother and them came from California. Them and Paul and all, and they had to sing on it. So Carol Lester sung with my brother and them. And but it was a good funeral, man. They put him away nice.
So what was what what was the moment like, or how did you find out that Willie had passed?
Well, like I said, I got a call when he had passed. He was, like I said, he had got from Kirk Franklin, and that's when he had told me he had got sick. Then I talked to his wife when he went in that coma. He was at home. She said he came in and putting the grandkids' toys together for Christmas. He said he put his glasses on upside down, and that's when he went in the hospital. And then I got a call. They told me he had passed. And then somebody else called me and asked, "Was it true?" I said, "Yeah, it's true." And that was rough, man, to see him, go through that, all the strokes that he had. He kept having them. And I think the first one hit him in Birmingham because he stayed in Birmingham for 13 days at the hospital. Willie told me when he had that first one, said a young lady had called and asked, was he ready? And she said, "Are you all right?" This is what Willie told me, for after he had the first one. She said he was just talking kind of, strange out his head or whatever. And that's when she said, "I'll be up there," and called the pyramid. He had a stroke, and he stayed there for 13 days, he told, in the hospital.
Wow.
And after that, he started having a few more. After I had left, my brother told me Willie, his mind was, say he sung "Jesus Been Good to Me" and then turned around and called it again. So that's,
Wow.
yeah, he was getting, that way. And my brother said, "Willie, we just sung that." And he was like, "Oh, okay." They had the tenor singer Mike Jackson. And Michael Jackson, he said, he started calling, said, "This guy named Michael Irvin," so his mind was, going that way in and out or whatever. And that's when they knew he started getting sick some more, So, but you could tell because it was rough, man. It was a lot of people hated to see him like that, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when I think about it, he wasn't an old man when he died.
Nah, I think it was 65 when he passed away.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
that,
think it
that
was
ain't old at
65.
all.
Nah, he was 65, I think, on the obituary. That was '01, wasn't it?
Oh
2001.
one.
Yeah,
I,
they still there.
I was 7 years old.
Wow. Wow. Wow, man.
7 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to put that
Yeah.
in perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. When did you really knew about Willie then? When you were what, like 12, 13 or somewhere in there?
Somewhere along in there. Like I said, I
Oh,
grew
okay.
up around Quartet, and I know y'all. I think y'all came to Sandersville. I know
Mm-hmm.
what's his name. Robert used to live in Sandersville for a little while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Robert lived in
That's where we're from,
Sandersville.
Sandersville. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right. You did tell me Sandersville. Yeah.
Right.
We used to come there and sing, man. That little elementary school there.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody would bring us there. Yeah, we did it a couple of times. In Sandersville, Georgia. Yeah, I think they only had one hotel there.
Still only got one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, we were staying. It was nice though. It was a nice hotel. Yeah, we
Right.
stayed at
Cool.
that one. It was real nice. Yeah, so man, we come
Yep.
through there because me and Robert would like ride together. Sometime if I'm driving, I come through there and pick him up, or if he's driving, he'll come get me. So sometimes, like I said, we'll drive even though the bus out, but we still drive and everything. So it was exciting traveling, man. That was a great experience. Meeting people, doing what you love, having fun. We're like if we off one day, we'll go bowling. Wash our clothes, go bowling, go to the mall. Stuff like that. It was really fun. You
Right.
know, yeah, really was.
Okay. So, how did y'all form y'all group, the Talley Boys? How did that come about?
Well, it's funny. Teddy, my brother took the group on, and they were still under the keynotes. And then Teddy had my dad there for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and they did the CD Legend Dream. I don't know if you heard that CD yet.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, they did a medley on there, man, and that thing they played that just about on every radio station. And they did that. Be Done. A song called "It's a Blessing." That was a nice song. Teddy wrote that. And then when my dad left Teddy, they were still going on his keynotes. And then later on, I had a little local group called The Chosen. Renegade Chosen. We had a little group here. We were trying to do a little something, man. We had stepped out there yet. We did little traveling up in Lexington, North Carolina, Nashville, and went out a little bit to Texas. And so I ended up, like I said, quitting that. And then we sung in Nashville, and Teddy said, "Man, I need you, man." I said, "You don't need me. What you need me for? Need you to help me, man." I said, "Nah, So I finally came over. We did Jackson. And so Teddy wanted to do something a little different. He said, "Man, I want to try this, but I'm still with y'all. Anytime y'all need me and I need y'all. So if he didn't have nothing to call, I said, "Where y'all at, man? I want to come out." So we did Hope, Arkansas. And Teddy didn't show up. That's when he did that. My brother, I'm sitting in the car and he gonna come get me. Say, "Man, let me holler at you." I said, "What you need?" I thought my daddy was gonna come sing that night.
Right.
He said, "Man, you got it tonight." I said, "Got what?" He said, "You lead singing." I said, "Man, y'all in trouble." I said, "Ain't no lead singing here tonight, man." He said, "Man, you done come all the way from the hospital." He said, "You want to get paid and go home, don't you?" I said, "Oh, man." I said, "Come on, man, don't do me like that." He walked off. I said, "KT," that was my brother play guitar. I said, "Let me holler at you, man." He kept walking. I said, "KT, come here, man." He gone. I'm sitting in the car just praying, "Lord Jesus." I said, "I sure got to make this money." I said, "Lord, I need your help." And I'm going to tell you something, man. I love him to death. I love all my sisters and brothers, but me and him very tight too. And I love him to death because he's straightforward. He gonna tell you if you sound like crap, or he just gonna tell you, but he don't mean no harm. So when I saw him, we got through, got the dressing room. He said, "DT." I said, "Oh Lord." So I thought this dude been telling me, "Oh man, we're gonna have to find somebody else." He said, "Man, you did a hell of a fine job." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Man, I ain't scared to go nowhere with you." Man, you talking about somebody that felt like the way the world felt. I was sure that he called my name. And man, he said, "DT." I said, "Oh Lord, I done messed up." He said, "Man, you did a hell of a fine job." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Man, you did a great job, man." So it was, because Eric McCant, he played guitar. He played drums that night, man. So it was like, wow. And so ever since.
Oh Lord, we done lost him. He probably got a phone call. But y'all, until you come back, we are interviewing Mr. David Talley of the legendary Gospel Keynotes and also of the Talley Boys. That's been a great conversation so far. I believe he got a phone call. I'm gonna give him a little minute to get back in here. If not, we done already reached our hour mark. But I done learned a lot. Some stuff I have heard, a lot of it I hadn't heard. So all this is just like, it's just good to actually be able to reach out and talk to some of our legends who paved the way for what we're doing now. And it's a blessing to still be able to see them in their element. I love it. And we're going to give him a couple of more minutes. Matter of fact, I can actually play a little more of mainline for y'all. If you don't come back, we'll end it with mainline. So let's cue that back up. Thank God I didn't stop it. Let's rock and roll. Why don't you call him? Why don't you call him? You go to him worried, he'll make you happy. If you go to him sad, he'll make you glad. If you ever been burdened, won't he make a way for you? Won't God make a way for you? Can I get a witness? Won't he make a way for you? Have you ever been worried? Won't he come see about you? Won't he put it all around you? You don't remember the heart. If you go to a burden, he lifts your burden. He lifts your burden just a little bit higher. You might be saying that should be it. Okay, right. He back. There you go. Yeah, man. Somebody called me, so I don't know. It jumped. I figured that. I tried to block him, so he came back in. Yeah. Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, it's all good. So, yeah, we actually done reached our hour mark, and I don't want to. Yeah, I don't even want to keep you all night myself. Cause oh, bro, nah, you good, man. I'm enjoying it. I just appreciate you thinking about me, And okay. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to some of these comments. Somebody asked, who's the oldest between you and KT?
KT is two older than me. KT and Shelton older than me. Both of the brothers older than me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Darrell Hobby said, David, KT, Sheldon, and the late Dwight Gordon gave me a chance when others wouldn't. I'll never forget.
Yeah. That's my brother, that baby brother, D Hard. Good cat.
Let's see. Somebody said, Mr. David looked so cool behind that set, from the glasses to the fade to the speed in which he was in the hi-hat.
Man, I just tried something, I was just trying to, did that. And I tell you, Brian Williams, God rest his soul, was the drummer for the Southern Airs. Man, he loved it, man. And I said, man, I'm not doing anything, He said, but those some fast 16ths on there, So I said, man, hey, it's just something I had, trying to do something different, man. So, it was just something that I did, and I feel like it sounded good and worked, So.
And people still trying to do it.
Yeah, it was nice.
Let's see. Oh, your brother said y'all were in California when Willa died.
Yeah, they was in California. I wasn't with them. Yeah.
Okay.
They came from California. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Someone else said y'all were at the Chicago Gospel Fest. Y'all sung on a Friday night.
Okay. Yeah, I knew one of them nights.
Okay. Yeah, your brother said Sheldon is the oldest than him. Y'all got 3 sisters between.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't want to mess her name up. Daisha Garner says, shout out to always being a real one, Mr. David.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Sheller said, I'm Not Giving Up is his favorite song off the project he was talking about a few minutes ago.
I'm not giving up. Yeah. I'm not giving up. Yeah. That's on Legend Dream too. I think Legend Dream. Yeah, you need to check that project out, man. That and you did you hear the one Master's Choice? You never heard of that one?
Hadn't heard that one either.
Oh, my brother, I got to get you that CD. That's when Ted and my brother and them went to Master Choice. They get doing that song by Come to Me and Take Complete Control. That Have Your Way, Lord, in My Life, man. That's a nice project.
Well, when you ever get a chance, get it over to me. I definitely
will. Yeah. That was a nice. Both of those were real nice.
Antoine Taylor said, whose black drum set was that you played on the first live?
That was the sound crew, Paul Christian. That's Paul Christian had those sound guy. Real nice guy, man. I still talk to Paul every now and then. He did a lot of people live recordings. Yeah.
Johnny Lindsay said best piccolo sound in his opinion.
Yeah, I was the first when Piccolo came out. I was the first one on the road had it. That snare was $500. The hardware Pearl or Tama. It was, man, that was the first one out. I had it before it came out. Sure did.
Man. Shannon Talley said, proud of you and brothers for remaining steadfast and carrying the mantle.
That's my wife, man. Picking with her earlier.
She was trying to get you to dress up, wasn't it?
Yeah, she tried to get me put on a suit, man. Yeah, like I'm interviewing at the Carnegie Hall.
Hey, I'm glad she
that woman, man.
To get you to try and do that.
Yeah, I love that woman there, man. That's my sweetheart. Yeah. Very supportive when I travel, man.
Did you meet her on the road?
Oh, yes. Yes, she playing hard to get, man, running from it, but I had to run her down, man. So, very intelligent, very church-going woman, man. And, and like I said, we had a lot in common, man. Church, loving our parents, grandparents, and everything. So that's who the Lord had for me. Yeah.
Did you ever get the chance to play for any?
Oh, man, I sat in with the Kens. I sat in with Slim, Banks, Who else? Darrell McFadden. I played for them one night. Who else I sat in with? A lot of them, man. I was gonna sit in with Doc, but the drummer ended up showing up. I was gonna say it with Tommy Ellison, the drummer ended up showing up at the last minute. On that one, I said, thank God.
Yeah.
You know, I played for the Jews, man, and I'm gonna tell you something. You know, when you play for them, you got to make sure you relax, because if you don't, they will wear you out. And they drive is so, people think it's easy, but it's complicated, because you got to be laid back, and that don't let them down.
Right. Ain't rushing.
Yeah. And Mike, man, we was in Rome, Georgia. You had Johnny Valentine, you had Bouvier, you had Luther Barnes drum. It was a bunch of drummers there, man. And Mike come got me. I said, man, all these good drummers here. He said, man, if I wanted them, I'd have went and got them. He said, I want you. I said, okay, man. And so I said, now, Clay C said one thing to me. I said, y'all gonna be without a drum. You know, because Clay C would try you back when, you know, if you mess up, he gonna fire you right on stage. I don't care who. I seen him fire his own nephew off a guitar, man. So Mike and Ben said, man, don't worry about him, man. You know. So I got dressed, come back there. He's hollering, who hired you? I said, man, Willie Neal Johnson hired me. I said, Mike ain't playing for y'all. He done got me already. So Mike Neal said, man, don't pay him no attention, man. Don't pay him. I said, all right, man, I'm telling y'all. So when I sat down, man, we did church song. So, you know, Clay, that's why I say he'll try. He come back there, you know, he always putting his pants up. He leaned over to the drum and said, Negro, you bad on them drums. I said, come here. He said, what? I said, Negro, you bad on that microphone. So we became so close, man. And when we did Nashville, he said, man, come play drum for us. We was at Bobby Jones, and they had to sing across town. I said, I'll tell you what, I said, I got to handle something for Willie. I'll be over there. He said, man, that Negro ain't coming to. I caught a cab over there. Man, Clay C said, I'm so glad to see you. I said, man, this joker, man. And that's the way it was. You know, he just fell in love with my playing, man. And it was funny, because that joker fired his nephew in Eufaula, Alabama. That joker was doing that can't turn around, Richard. He said, can't turn around. He turned around and snatched his cord out the amp and turned back around to the mic and said, can't turn around. And he turned around, looked at him and said, go home. And turned back around and said, can't turn around. He said, you're fired. Man. Then he turned back around and he said, you can't play. Every time he said something, he'll come back to the mic and say, can't turn around. And Paul looked at me and said, the next show, he won't be with him. And the next show, his nephew won't with him, man. I said, that's Clay C. No, this joke unplugged him and turned back into the mic. Can't turn around. And turned around, looked at him and said, you can't play. That joke was saying something every time, man. I said, this dude, nephew standing up there, and he plugged the guitar back up, just doing this here.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it was something else. There was something. Crazy was, but yeah, I sat in with them Jews, man. I tell you, Violent Air, sat in with them. I played for them for about 3 weeks in a row. Bobo had left them. Yeah, yeah, sure did. And the Christian Harris tried to hire me. As soon as I left the Keynotes, I said, man, if I want to be on the road, I'd have stayed with Willie. Yeah. Right. Dennis Tobias, I'll never forget it, had called me. And I was going to go sit in with them in Florence. I said, nah, I changed my mind. I don't want to play no more. So, yeah, so I just stayed at home, man. And, but yeah, I sat in with a lot of them, man. A lot of groups out there.
And like you said, you got to kind of be on your P's and Q's, because that one weekend I had to sit in with the Cans on drums. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. I played drums all my life. And, yeah, man, it's different when you get behind that driver's seat.
Hey, yes, sir. Hey, man. Hey, but the thing about it, they want you to be like the drummer they had. You know? So, man, I remember Banks, man. We was in Boston, and he fired his drummer and said, hey, I want you to play. I said, man, what's wrong with your drummer? He said, did I say anything wrong? He said, I want you to play. He told his drummer, sit down beside him and watch him. I said, huh? He had his drummer to sit down beside me. This guy's on the truth. And he still paid the drummer. Then he said, now I want you. I said, thank you. He said, shut up. I ain't talking to you. I'm gone, man. I said, I'm out of here. Yeah, sure did. Man. So Banks when Keno split up with Willie getting new, he talking about who you with? I said, I'm still with Willie Neal Johnson, Banks. I ain't coming over there with you. Yes, so yeah, sit in with a lot of group, man. Yeah.
And it takes like I said, it look easy, but when you have to actually got to do it, man, I gain a lot of respect.
Let me tell you, I told my brother, you remember you supposed to come sit in with me when we did Gaffney.
Right.
I said, man, that was the biggest mistake I made, not calling Rich and said, just come on, man. Bro, we got up there. That was one of the roughest. I almost started crying on stage, man. Yeah. I'm serious, man. The drummer was wrong and the keyboard player was wrong. And my brother had that frustrated look on his face. I said, and you said they told you this keyboard player was tough. I said, he tough, all right, messing us up. And the drummer, my other brother went over there and said, hey, man, just relax. I said, forget it, man. We finna sit down. We wrong today. Man. I said, that's a worst mistake. I said, Richard, come on, man. Just fly. I'll pay for it. Just get here. So,
man, hey, when that music ain't right, them leads ain't uncomfortable. Man,
bro, I was so embarrassed. I was trying to work that out too. I just sat on the step and I almost just started crying. He goes, what are you crying for? I'm happy that we on our last song. Man, that was one of the roughest weekends, man. I said, I should have went out the way to pick up Rich. Ask my brother them, did I say that? I said, man, I should have drove out the way. Just go get him. I said, there you go, man. I done heard you play. I know we'd have been straight, but man, that was a long weekend that weekend. So I said, man, I should have drove down there and picked Richard up myself.
Hey, I will wait.
Yeah, man. I won't happen no more. Not again. So yeah. Well, yeah, man. But I appreciate your platform, man. I really do. I enjoyed it. Really
yeah. I kind of want to see if I can get like a lot of more people on at one time, so y'all can just talk about the good old days and.
Oh yeah,
like a round table, like almost, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I tell you that's what you need. When me, Jeff, and Teddy was on, man, and we was on with Tony Shelley, man, them guys have your stomach hurt, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, they can tell you some stuff even more. Like I tell you, Perry was one of the funniest cats out there, man. This dude had he had a gift of gab, man. Mm-hmm. This dude can talk and get anything done. I'm serious. Man, they told me before I got there one time they were walking down the street and just, hanging out, and Teddy Pendergrass in concert. And they didn't know it, but man, Perry went up and talked to somebody. They had front row seats. Yeah. And on the turnpike, man, when you're going up to New Jersey, New York over the summer, right. It's loaded to get something to eat. Mm-hmm. It's lined. So we was at McDonald's, man. And I said, man, ain't no way I'm going to get something to eat. So Perry done talked to somebody. They done open up another line. So when I said, Perry, order me something. He said, hold on. Excuse me. He talked to the lady, said, hey, this is my bodyguard. Hook me up. I said, bodyguard? Man, I swear to God, man. The woman gave me all my food, and the lady got on. She said, this line is closed. I said, what you tell it, lady? I'm your bodyguard. I said, man, this dude, I'm serious. I'm listening right to him. Joey, Teddy, all of them got their food, and she was finna close. I said, Perry, order me something, order me. He said, hey, this is my bodyguard. I said, bodyguard? I said, what this dude? Man, Perry had a way of talking, man. But I see. I tell you, man, that cat looked out for me too, man. But Perry, I'll tell you, this joker could talk. He can have. I tell you, that's the only guy I know. When you get up to him, when you get at the gate, if he talk to Jesus, he gonna be sitting by Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. Jesus gonna let him in if Perry talk to him. He gonna sit by Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob, man. So, but that's my baby, that's my big brother, man. Perry, one of the best guys you could be around, because he gonna have you laughing as well, man.
Yeah.
But I've met all them guys, been with them guys, man, and they looked out for you. I was like the baby big brother because I was tall. So, but it was great experience sitting with them guys, man. You talk to them guys, they can give you a lot of more history than I can, but it's a lot of stuff I still know we just didn't get a chance to talk about. But, we'll do that one day, but it's a lot, man, because coming up childhood and things, you know, that went on and all that. That was great, really great. So for us. So it's like I said, some keynotes, originals way on back. Ralph McGee and all them. Those Donnie Timmons, all them, some originals, you know,
Right.
back then. So yeah, those guys. Yeah, them.
Jonas Ross on, he was speaking. Shout out to Jonas.
Shout out Jonas.
Yeah, Jonas done been around the block a couple times too.
Oh yeah. Jonas, yeah. Listen to his radio on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah. Jonas, good guy. Yeah. He with Paul Porter.
Paul Porter. Right. Yeah, he with Paul.
Yeah. Okay. Doing your thing, Jonas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well.
All right, well, Mr. David, we gonna get on up out of here because I know
all
you
right,
got.
Man, we enjoyed it.
Yes, sir.
We enjoyed it.
So whenever you're ready to come back, all you gotta do is just let me know.
All right, we'll do that. Like I said, man, I'm gonna get you. I'm working on some stuff, but like I said, we'll get together on that. We had talked about that a little bit, and we'll get together on that. I definitely want you on some stuff, and I'm gonna get you out with us one weekend when you ain't traveling, when y'all off one weekend. You know, Let me know. I'll get you come out and hang one weekend with us.
Let's do it.
You'll definitely enjoy it because that other one, KT, my brother,
right,
man, he'll have you laughing. You might need a bucket because you be laughing so hard throwing up, man. So that guy funny, man. I'm telling you, everybody love hanging around KT because he gonna have you laughing, man. So
I got you.
But we appreciate it,
I'm
man.
looking forward now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make it happen. Might be coming up here pretty soon. We'll be down your way here coming up pretty soon in August, somewhere around in there. So I'll get you and see if you off.
Okay.
And we'll make it happen. You won't have to drive that far. We'll take care of you. We got you covered.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I already know it.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Having me on. We'll definitely get up with you.
All right. You have a blessed night and God bless you, man. And keep up the good work you're doing.
You do the same, huh?
All right, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. David Talley. Give it up. Give it up. Wow. Another great interview. I always learn, man, but this one right here was kind of special because growing up watching those Willie Neal Johnson keynote videos and from actually seeing them on video and then getting a chance to work with them and seeing them live, it's always humbling. I always look forward to doing the interviews, whatever. Just something special. I'm glad we started it, and we got some more to come. Y'all just stay tuned. That's all I'm saying. We got a special one coming. If not the end of the month, it's gonna be next month. Me and Trishawn and I already talked about it. So he got somebody he gonna bring on, and y'all will not want to miss this. I'm telling you. So until then, we will catch y'all on the next one, and I will see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.